Hey, what's going on? It is Tuesday, and we're talking brand new video games once again. I've got my drink, and I'm gonna go see if I can get some baseball tickets here at the old Petco Park. Come on, let's go. Anyways, the top game of the week is MLB 23 The Show. With there's no Padre on the cover this year. That was a couple years ago when Fernando Tatis Jr. was on the cover. What's he doing now? I don't know. And then we have, what is it? Crime Bosses, something. Let me see. Oh, I got it right here. Crime Boss, Rockay City. That'll be on PC, PS5, and Series S and X. That's a, like a heist-style action crime game. It's got Danny Glover in it. What else do you need to know? And, yeah. All right, let's hit the tickets. Hello? Hello? Can I buy a ticket? Hello? Oh, there's a letter here. No? No, I don't know what that is. Alright, well I guess I'm gonna have to get a ticket later. Anyways, let's move on to ports, huh? As far as ports go, we've got The Last of Us Part 1 coming out on PC. This is a port of the PS5 version that came out last year. Yeah, it's an upscaled version. I guess I wouldn't know if I would call it a remake necessarily, but it definitely looks better, and it plays with the Last of Us 2's engine. Wait. What do you mean you can't see me? I'm right here. The last game we're talking about this week is an expansion for the game Forza 5 Horizon, and it's a rally something. Man, I should write these down before I talk. Anyway, it's a rally car expansion, race in the desert and shit. Yeah, you know, it's Forza. It's more Forza. If you like that game, then you're gonna probably like the expansion. What else can I say? That's it. Those are all the big games coming out. Let's move on to notable titles. Starting off with the 10-year-old game Battle Block Theater, made by a company from right here in San Diego called The Behemoth. I'm looking at this pizza. I'm going to eat it. Bye.
Hey there, folks! Have you heard of the game Battle Block Theater for the Xbox 360? It came out 10 years ago. Yes, you are a prisoner in something, and a bunch of cats have you, and they're making you do stuff for a bunch of, you know, other fat cats who are watching you from a theater. You have to jump and run and avoid traps and things like that. You will die a lot, but that's okay because you just respawn. There's all kinds of gems you have to find, and you have to find some yarn balls, and, you know, you can collect different heads and bodies, and it's all very, very much fun. Made by a company called The Behemoth from right here in San Diego. Battle Block Theater, folks. You should check it out. It's a lot of fun. Ha!
Damn, Playboy. Where'd you learn to move like that?
What's up, Playboys? We are talking about the 20-year-old notable title, Def Jam Vendetta, published by EA, that came out in April of 2003. When I started playing Def Jam Vendetta earlier this week, I was really surprised to find out that it was actually a wrestling game. The game was co-developed by two different companies. The first was EA Canada, but the main engine and pretty much the gameplay itself was developed by a company called Aki Corporation from Japan, who were best known for creating the Virtual Pro Wrestling series, and also worked on games like WWF No Mercy and WCW vs. NWO World Tour. And those were both very well-regarded wrestling games when they came out for the Nintendo 64. And EA was looking to have a wrestling game of their own. The company had tried putting out a wrestling game a few years earlier called WCW Backstage Assault for the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64, but it was widely panned for basically not really being a wrestling game. It was, as the name of the game implies, it all took place backstage. You didn't fight in an arena, and so all your battles were one-on-one in the locker rooms and the whatever other areas were backstage at the arena you were supposedly at for that week. And it just wasn't what people wanted, and they suffered for it. So going out to Aki Corporation, who were well versed in making wrestling games, was seen as a shrewd move. They really wanted to get in and try to take away some of the wrestling market that was already being taken over by the WWE video games that THQ was putting out. So I've been doing a lot of talk about how this is a wrestling game at its core, but really the big draw of Def Jam Vendetta was that it contained real life musicians, rappers who were part of the Def Jam record label. We had guys like DMX, Ludacris, Method Man, Redman, Scarface, and a bunch more. There were basically two main game modes in Def Jam Vendetta. There was your kind of typical, fighting game one-on-one battle that you could play with your friends or just as like a standard arcade mode against the computer. But there was also a story mode, which is where you would unlock new fighters, where you would unlock new arenas. And it was just, the heart of the game. That's where you did everything. You could upgrade your character by getting money after different matches and, giving them more power, more defense, more charisma, because every good wrestler's got to have some charisma, As far as the plot of the game goes, it's pretty thin. I mean, there's 4 characters to choose from, and they all go through the same story. It doesn't matter who you pick, you're going to have the same experience. And basically, you're, filling in for your friend, Manny, who's been injured, and he's like, hey, go do this street fight for me. And you're like, all right, whatever. And you go through a bunch of different dudes. Not every fighter in this game is a rapper. Some of them are just made up for the game. And you beat these kind of scrub guys first, and then you'll fight a rapper. So the first one you fight is Scarface. Later on you'll fight Nore, and eventually you'll guys like Ludacris, DMX, Method Man, Redman. All the way until you get to the final boss, which is named D-Mob, who's a made-up character. He's not a rapper or anything. He's just like, the leader of the gang or something, whatever it is. Funny enough, he's voiced by Christopher Judge, who is very famously now known as the voice of Kratos in the new God of War games. And, that's it. Def Jam Vendetta, it was well received by critics. It wasn't like a smash, success. People aren't going back and looking at this as like one of the pinnacles of video gaming, but it was liked. It was well liked, especially after the mess that was their Backstage Assault game. It spawned 2 sequels: Fight for New York, and then Def Jam Icon, which was on the Xbox 360 and PS3. But yeah, after that, not really much else. I don't think EA's made a wrestling game in a while. Hold on, let me check. I have the internet in front of me. I'm seeing some UFC games that they made, but I don't see anything wrestling related. So, yeah, no, that was it. Just these 3 Def Jam games. Aki Corporation, on the other hand, they would also stop making wrestling games. It looks like they did an Ultimate Muscle game for the GameCube, a couple other games in Japan, but it looks like the last thing they did was Ready to Rumble Revolution on the Wii, and that was it. That was 2009. So, all right. Anyway, if you want to play Def Jam Vendetta today, The only way to actually do it is with an original disc or by emulation. As you might imagine, EA has not renewed the Def Jam license, and they would probably have to pay a lot of money to have these stars still appear, and all their music that's in there. There's a ton of music in this game, so I'm sure it would be very expensive to repurchase the license for a game that is just okay. That's gonna do it. Let's move on to the notable title from 30 years ago, and get this thing done. All right, bye.
But nobody ever beats me.
Got a pig to catch out of the toilet.
Hey Dad, what you doing?
I'm playing a funny game.
Cool, what game is it?
It's called Eric the Unready. It's this week's 30-year-old notable title. It came out on PC back in 1993.
Oh, well, what kind of game is that?
It's called a text adventure game. You go around and you type in commands for the character to do, and he does it.
What? You'll do anything for you? Anything?
Yeah, just about.
Oh my god.
Well, that's enough for today. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
Do you need a tissue?
Yeah, I guess. Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, why did I do that?
fart noise with mouth. Ooh, I have an idea. Go to kitchen. Open the freezer. Give Enid popsicle.
Here.
Thanks, Dad.
No, that sucked.